Welcome to Boring News from Not Boring, where we bring you the news as Polymarket sees it. I'm your host, Packy McCormick's voice, and my job is to put my mouth where your money is. Today is January 14th. In the lead up to the 2025 Australian federal election, the Liberal National Coalition, led by Peter Dutton, is slightly favored to win the most seats, with Polymarket giving them around a 60% chance of victory amid a backdrop of economic challenges and campaign strategies, with a trading volume around $5,000. Meanwhile, in the U.S., December 2024 saw 256,000 jobs added, dropping the unemployment rate to about 4%, spurring discussions on Federal Reserve policies. Polymarket predicts a high chance of adding between 200,000 and 250,000 jobs next month, with odds around 25% for continued strong growth in this newly opened market. In New York City, the new congestion pricing, charging $9 to enter Manhattan below 60th Street, faces a legal battle but has reduced traffic by 8%. On Polymarket, there's around an 83% chance the program will remain despite controversy. Now let's dive into today's stories in detail. The first story centers on the 2025 Australian federal election, specifically focusing on which political party is likely to win the most seats. This narrative delves into Peter Dutton's campaign strategies and the impact of rising inflation and interest rates on voter sentiment. The competition is fierce between the Liberal National Coalition and the Australian Labor Party led by Anthony Albanese. The election is set on or before May 17, 2025, against a backdrop of political and economic challenges. The Liberal National Coalition, led by Peter Dutton, is vying for power against the incumbent Labor government. In previous elections, economic conditions and leadership perceptions have played crucial roles, like in 2019 when the coalition won unexpectedly. Polls now show a slight lean toward the coalition, boosted by Dutton's efforts to address economic issues. Recent headlines highlight a narrowing race, with Dutton's campaign focusing on economic concerns. Meanwhile, posts on X reflect divided opinions on Dutton's leadership. Most people on Polymarket give the coalition around a 60% chance of victory in this newly open market, based on the latest economic data and political moves, suggesting a stronger chance for a coalition win, driven by campaign initiatives and public discourse. Some users on X and news outlets express skepticism about both major parties, emphasizing economic management issues. There's also talk about the impact of social media polarization, which could shape voter sentiment. The stakes are high as both parties vie for control, with economic conditions heavily influencing voter behavior. Future scenarios may see the coalition secure a narrow win, or Labor could regain momentum by effectively tackling economic concerns. Independent candidates might also gain traction amid growing voter dissatisfaction. But for now, let's move on to the next story. The latest U.S. job market numbers are sparking discussion nationwide. A recent report shows 256,000 jobs have been added in December 2024, beating expectations and dropping the unemployment rate to around 4%. This performance is making waves, with economists and investors closely watching its impact on Federal Reserve policies. Polymarket is seeing a trading volume of around $5,000 with predictions on job growth for January, reflecting this newfound optimism. Current odds suggest a high chance of adding between 200,000 and 250,000 jobs next month, yet there is a cautious undercurrent due to worrying inflation and potential interest rate hikes. This narrative fits into a historical context of job market resilience amid economic shifts. Over the past year, the U.S. has steadily gained jobs despite challenges. Yet, this surprising growth raises questions about sustainability in light of cooling labor demand. Social media platforms like X reveal mixed feelings, celebrating strong numbers, but also warning about future volatility. The story's implications are profound, suggesting possible continued economic strength, but also hinting at market adjustments if job creation falls short. News outlets like the New York Times highlight potential Federal Reserve decisions that hang in the balance. We must watch if this trend continues or if signs of slowdown appear. As traders navigate these waters, Polymarket sentiment remains a crucial gauge. Its current odds of around 25% for continued robust job growth shine a light on economic uncertainty. Let's move on to the next story. The newly launched congestion pricing program in New York City is stirring debate. It started charging vehicles $9 to enter Manhattan below 60th Street during peak hours as of today. This move, aimed at reducing traffic and funding public transit, has resulted in a notable traffic drop of around 8%, cutting approximately 43,000 cars daily. However, legal and political challenges have emerged. Recently, New Jersey lost a court case to block the program, while President-elect Donald Trump is promising its repeal, adding layers of conflict to the mix. Historically, this congestion pricing model has been long debated, representing the first of its kind in the U.S. Aiming to raise up to $15 billion for urban projects, it faces opposition due to potential economic impacts, especially on local businesses. Discussions have stretched for decades with varying opinions on fairness and efficiency. Odds on this newly opened market on Polymarket indicates around 83% chance that it will stay, reflecting confidence despite the controversy. Public sentiment is varied. Some praise the environmental benefits, while others criticize the cost burden. The future of this program could hinge on legal outcomes and political shifts. Adjustments seem possible if public opinion demands change, yet a complete repeal might require substantial shifts in sentiment. Each of the stories we covered today is ongoing and may change dramatically. For updates and detailed odds, head to polymarket.com. That's all the news that's fit to predict. This is me, Packy McCormick's voice, signing off. May the odds be ever in your favor.